All right, guys, thank you for joining me tonight. So, I came across an article right before this came on. I was sort of reading it. I was actually reading an article and listening to some nonsense that's going on in Canada. So, one of the stories I'm going to talk about now, but the Canadian one I'm going to talk about on the Angry Truth channel. So, Flongro, Debbie, thank you for 5 by 5 Ozark, Joe, Lexi, Visit, Koala, thank you for 5 by 5 Kathy, Renee, Dan, Maria, Jeep Dog, Scott, Groundhog, Jeep Girl, Gary, Narcia, Christian, Sarita, thank you for 5 by 5 1 second after, Kathy, Water Tiger, Off Grid, thank you for 5 by 5 James, F you all, appreciate it. I'll head to Rumble and see if you're there too. Koala, thank you for that. Let's see. Bob, thank you for the 5 by 5 Nancy, let's go. Thank you for the 5 by 5 All right, all right, all right. Did I miss anybody? And no. All right. Harold, James, thank you for the 5 by 5 So, yeah. You, you, I don't even know where to go with these ridiculous things that are going on, and we're sitting idly by, doing nothing about it. Harold, James, Caribbean, Teddy, thank you for the 5 by 5 appreciate it. JD, thank you for the loud and clear. Cajun and Prep to Adapt, thank you for the 5 by 5 on Rumble, appreciate it. Bradley, thank you for the 5 by 5 So, let me see if I can find this other story. Koala, thank you for the 5 by 5 on Rumble. Appreciate it. So let's see if I can find it. But pretty much, there it is. So the Mr. 19 arm ticket, the FDA is looking to expand the Mr. 19 arm ticket warning about possible side effects. Almost, 5 years later, right? Rhonda, Master Blaster, NC Austin, thank you for 5 by 5 Superman, Bite Size, thank you for 5 by 5 So the FDA is telling Pfizer and Moderna to expand their warning labels on their arm ticket about the risk of a possible, get this, heart injury issue linked to the arm ticket, primarily in teen boys, young men, citing a finding from a study published last year, new agency data. Order to expand the warnings were posted Wednesday, today, by the FDA in a letter dated April 17th to those two companies I mentioned about their, what you call it, arm ticket, and its spike arm ticket. I can't say the word. Both arm tickets previously carried warnings about how the risk of a chest effect, which doctors called myocarditis and pericarditis, looked to be higher in young men, generally within the first week of being issued that arm ticket. While the earlier labels specified 18 to 24-year-olds, later on they expanded it, I guess, to 12 to 17-year-olds as well. So it was 18 to 24 with the M or Moderna, and 12 to 17 with, that's weird, 12 to 17 with Pfizer. That's the warnings for having the chest issues. The new warning will apply from males 16 to 25 for both arm tickets. The formula of the arm ticket, the highest estimated incidence of myo issues and precardia issues in males 16 to 25. The FDA said the new blanket warning will be required for both arm tickets to state that on their arm ticket box or labels or whatever it is. So 8 cases per million. Now they're saying that between the both issues, they're seeing 8 cases per million dose for children and adults under the age of 65. Now a lot of people were developing both of these issues. It wasn't just kids or young men. It was a lot of people experiencing this nonsense. So, trying to be careful of how and what I say and how many times I say it, which is often the key to getting red flagged. But anyway, the FDA again is looking for them to make this so. Now I found, not I didn't find, someone sent me a label or an article. I haven't read the article fully yet, but let me see if I can pull it up. It was and maybe you guys can pull it up once I read it. Let's see. So the FDA is now poised to restrict access to the Mr. 19 arm ticket. Agency leaders said that there was evidence to justify approval for only older people, those with medical conditions. So it seems like they're pulling back on issuing this arm ticket for everyone and just making it for older people with medical issues. And not all older people, but older people with medical issues. Many others may not have access to it. Again, everything that they rushed out there in such a hurry, now they're pulling back on all of it. Go figure. Live free or die. Yes, I did hear about that a year ago, maybe, if I'm not mistaken. It was rumblings or rumors in New York, and I guess you're confirming that they are working on it. But I did hear that they were looking to do assisted suicide. Now, on the Angry Truth channel, we're going to talk about assisted taking your own person and what they're doing in Canada, and who in Canada they extended that to. That's the more mind-blowing shit. We're going to talk about that in the Angry Truth channel later tonight at 10 o'clock. So, stay tuned if you want. But there is a theory that's rumbling around in my head with this whole nonsense. And it's bizarre that more states are opening up to assisted offing yourself versus just going to getting counsel, getting a psychiatrist to fucking, work with you. But instead, they're letting people make the decision to, I'm going to be assisted in taking my own, instead of fighting for it. Now, granted, there are a lot of people who are not fighting for it and just going ahead and doing their own thing. This would make it, as I heard, a cleaner way of deleting yourself. Thank you to Roaming Prepper. Right. So people who want to self-delete, this is the way to go about it. And it's a cleaner way to go about it. So, I disagree with it all the way to fuck around. But whatever. Rob B, no I didn't. I only saw videos of it. I never seen it. I never had eyes on it. I think a lot of those bodies that we saw during Mr. 19 were fakes. But that's just me. I think some of them were real. I think there was a lot of stand-ins, right, to make it look like there was, more people that didn't make it than there really was. Again, there was something about a couple of those bodies when I saw them, it just didn't look right. It didn't look real, right? It looked like a mannequin laying under it. And, I remember questioning it and thinking, maybe because, they're stiff or whatever, rigor mortis set in, that's why. But they looked they looked real. I mean, they looked fake. But again, that's my opinion. I'm not saying that they all were, but there was definitely something wrong with the way it looked. That's all. Hey, yo. Okay, let's get back to Rumble before. All right. All right, guys. So there's just a lot of nonsense, and again, the self-deleting nonsense, that's just crazy. Yeah, Gnostic Nomad, exactly. But I'm gonna get into a deeper talk about that self-deleting for kids. That's bizarre. It's just getting worse. I think liberals are going to have to be dealt with in such a fashion. There has to be something done. It's bizarre how we are allowing liberals to make these arguments, and then they're passing these things. That's the crazy shit. This euthanization shit is fucking insane. That people are just like, you know what? You're 12. You have the right to make your own decisions. Again, we're gonna talk about that in the Angry Truth channel because it gets even worse. At least in Canada, I can see them doing that here. Not initially, but I could definitely see that happening here in the United States. Just it's going to take some time. I mean, listen, liberals are seemingly getting sicker by the day. I watched a video of a lady attacking a car, and she did not look like she was crazy before whatever happened to her, and I think it's the arm ticket. But I think that she definitely lost her mind somewhere along the line. But it's probably, the video's like 5 minutes long. It might have been a 10-20 minute duration of this lady acting like a fool. She was whacking the car with her elbow. She couldn't break the glass because she's a woman. She had a knife in her hand. Now, as a crazy person with a object in my hand, I'm gonna go right for the tires. She didn't go for the tires till like later in the video, and then they called the cops, and then she sped off with her mother. Her mother rolls up and like, "What are you guys doing to her? Why are you bothering her?" And she's like, "Ma'am, your daughter's losing her shit." And now the mother's watching her daughter lose her shit in the car because the guy who was getting his car beat up on by the lady, his car was too close to her mother's car, and she acted in such a way, and this thing went on. It was a bizarre video. And then she did something. I don't know if she hit the window or she tried to headbutt it. She did some crazy shit, but she knocked out a tooth or fractured it or whatever. I'm like, what the hell? So again, I've said this before, I'll say it again. Watching guys, liberals, make the arguments they make is getting worse to a level that I think we're going to see some apocalyptic shit. We're going to definitely see some apocalyptic nonsense. Koala, thank you for the donation on Rumble. We're definitely going to see some apocalyptic shit coming up, man. I mean, Prepper Revelator was telling me yesterday that his wife's co-worker was diagnosed with stage 4. And again, out of fucking nowhere, just out of left field. And there's a lot of that popping up. Again, in the police department and fire department, there's a lot of guys popping up with this. With the fire department, the only problem with the fire department is that you can't outwardly blame the arm ticket, though I still blame it, but being responsible, you can't outwardly blame the arm ticket because of the environments that we operate in are definitely cancer causing. And we have seen a huge spike within the last 5 years. That's why I'm making a connection of the arm ticket, but you don't know who was affected by the arm ticket and who wasn't, right? Because of the environments we operate in, sometimes we're breathing in garbage. We're breathing in shitty air, right? And that affects you over time. Our bunker gear, like I told you guys before, has PFAS in it. So if it has PFAS in it, it's definitely going to affect us down the line. Yeah, Koala, I really appreciate that donation, man. Thank you. And so that's the problem with us. But we're seeing it in PD as well. There's a lot of people in the police department, at least NYPD, I can't speak for others, that are definitely seeing an increase in ailments, people being sick. But again, that's another conversation that we can continue to have a million more times because nothing is going to get better. It's only going to get worse. People are undoubtedly going to start knowing more people that passed away from Mr. C than they did Mr. 19, right? Yeah, who just said that? Somebody just said that. Paula, thank you for that. Road rage incidents have gone through the roof, like exponentially. Again, I think the arm ticket altered a lot of people's behavior. It's a theory, it's an opinion perhaps, but I've seen people change. Yes, Maximus Nuno. Yes, I know that. PFAS is a forever chemical that's in our bunker gear. Not on the outside of our bunker gear, on the inside of our bunker gear. The part that goes up against the other clothing or skin, depends on whether or not you're wearing shorts or short sleeves. That part is in the inside of the gear. And the city knows about this, and the city refuses to do anything about it. Meaning, someone said that they are looking up new bunker gear for us that doesn't have PFAS in it. Meanwhile, the PFAS has been in our gear for over 10 years. So that's why we're starting to see the guys with at least my time on get sick. But there are young guys who are also getting sick who've only been on a couple years. So who knows? And Kathy, that's the thing. We occupational cancer is part of the job. You know, a lot of guys are nervous about it and shit, and they're like, "Oh, I don't want to get cancer." I'm like, "You're on the wrong job." I signed up for this job to have fun and pretty much get sick, because that's the road you're headed. Now, does everybody in the fire department get sick? No, but we undoubtedly are exposing ourselves a lot more to hazardous shit than the average person, all right, or the average job, that is. Now, there are other places where people do. There are other places where people do. They have a hazardous job as well. But ours is a little more frequent because we go to more fires than any other given job that exposes themselves to the shit that we expose ourselves to. But that is why I became a firefighter. I became a firefighter for the fun, the action, the danger, the trouble, the whole 9 yards. The life-threatening situations that that get you all riled up. That's why we're adrenaline junkies, and it's the adrenaline junkie comes with a price to pay, right? Sometimes rent's due, and sometimes it's not. And when rent's due, that's your calling. It is what it is. PFAS can be in food storage containers. Yes, absolutely. PFAS is pretty much in everything, but again, that's a different conversation for a different day. So tonight, guys, we are talking about, if I can fucking find it, how something isn't making sense about what China is doing to the United States. Now, I did a video on this, but the more I start thinking about it, the more I'm sitting here like, yo, what China is doing, it's like another Trojan horse that is trouble, but you accept the gift anyway. Like the Air Force One plane that the Trump administration just accepted from the UAE. Why the fuck would you do? I don't understand that. I'm a little confused as to why you would take a plane that, again, is one of the the most high-tech plane to ever exist or something like that, and that the Arabs, out of all people, build this plane, and they're considering making it an Air Force One. Now, granted, hopefully the techs and the mechanics tore the plane apart, x-rayed the shit out of it. They're climbing in every nook and cranny, trying to find anything that could be a recording device. But why would you take something from essentially an enemy? I don't give a fuck how many high fives they give on the news and then the handshakes and the picture taken together. They're still an enemy. They still can't be trusted. And the fact that they're taking this plane is bizarre. And if you people think it's cool, you guys got fucking problems. Because the Chinese are doing this to us on a bigger level. Chinese were caught with kill switch devices in transformers that they're sending to the United States, and what is it called? Converters that are being sent to us by way of solar power gear, excuse me. And I don't understand how we sit here and think this shit is cool. It's called diplomatic respect. They could diplomatic respect my dick in their mouth. There is no such thing as diplomatic respect, guys, when you are dealing with a foreign agency. There isn't. The Israelis, are one of the biggest concerns when it comes to spying on American technology and America as a whole. And that was coming from the CIA and the FBI. And the Israelis, have been caught multiple times and multiple spies here. Granted, the Chinese spies, Russians, everybody has a spy, but Israel has, and China are the two top contenders when it comes to spies. And yet, we're sitting here with a plane that could be bugged out the ass. They could have some new technology on that plane that we know nothing about. That plane could be flying for years, and all of a sudden, the switch is off, and the plane drops out of the sky. Or manually flies back to fucking some Arab country holding the president captive. Like, I don't understand how anybody, like, you know, the people who are like, that's a good idea. The dick sucking that's going on with every president that ever exists is insane. I don't understand it. Like, people like, that's a good deal because shut the fuck up. That is a potential enemy and a potential Trojan horse. The plane I'm talking about. Never mind what the Chinese are doing. The trust factor is bizarre. Now, granted, you know, they made this massive deal and it was a gift. I'd be like, yo, we'll take a gift. We'll do something else with it. But we're not putting the president of the United States in that plane. We'll put the vice president in. Fuck him. Let him get sent back to another country or space or whatever the fuck it's going to do. It's just bizarre. And so now we have rogue communication devices found in solar power equipment, and solar farms. And these unexplained communication equipment are found inside, and they're connected back to the Chinese. And for some reason, we keep buying gear from them. Now, if I'm not mistaken, they're Chinese inverters, right? And these inverters are found inside the, I'm going to read an article in a couple seconds, but these inverters are found inside a solar power gear that gets sent out all over the fucking nation, right? I don't know if they're getting sent to other countries, but they're sent all over other nation. With that, why do we keep accepting the equipment from these people? How come we just don't go, yo, enough? We're going to have to build our own. In fact, India also builds transformers for the United States as well. I think the Indian transformers are either more expensive or less reliable. So they just have to work on making them more reliable. Why do you keep taking Trojan horses from the Chinese? It's almost as if we're in on this. And they want the power to shut off to the solar plants or the transformers that are being sent. I don't understand how we got here. Someone goes, Trump's no fool. I don't know. Listen, I don't trust any politicians. You guys have to stop fucking rubbing politician. You guys have to stop rubbing political dicks on your face. Enough. Enough with the trust in these people. They are not trustworthy. None of this shit, guys, that these parties promised us has come to fruition. They give you small wins, and these small wins, guys, are by design. They are designed to make it look like they're doing something for you, and then they woo you with that bullshit. Meanwhile, all of the other shit that they promised they were going to do, they don't do. And so we sit here and go, oh man, that was a good idea. Oh, look at Biden. Biden did such a great job as a president. I can't believe idiots actually say that shit. And they say it with a straight face. They're like, Biden was one of the best presidents we had in a while. What? Kamala Harris was going to do better than him? What the fuck is going on here? Enough already. The political dick rubbing and ball washing is fucking insane, man. It's just it's insanity that everybody puts this trust in people who will continuously stab us in the dicks on a daily basis. He says, I'm so sick of everyone stroking everyone. 8 feet destroyer, if I said that right, that's my whole point. We got to stop this bullshit. They have to start praising us. Politicians have to start praising us and not the other way around. This is not about politics. It's all about politics. Life is better, in case you haven't noticed. It's all political. Because it's all a ruse. All of it's a ruse. Again, the Chinese and their fucking communication devices, and then 3 years ago, those same devices, or similar devices, were found in transformers being sent here. Again, that would be like a Trojan horse being sent back in, and we go, well, we know there's somebody in there, but we're going to take our chances and hope they don't attack us. What the fuck is that? What is that? That doesn't make any sense. So something is clearly up. I just don't know what it is. I don't know, I don't know what the reasoning we would keep taking transformers and inverters from the country that is outwardly trying to fuck us and has an army of hackers who are constantly fucking our shit up. Constantly. We have an army of hackers from the Russians, from the Chinese, probably our own, going after our shit on a daily basis, and we keep getting gear from our enemy. China is not our friend. They never will be. Maybe if there's a total, utter collapse of humanity, maybe then. But right now, no thank you. Seamus goes, get out of New York, you're losing your direction. No, Seamus, you guys are losing your direction. For those of you that are sitting there thinking that this fucking political party's for us, you've been had, my friend. You've been had. And if you guys continue to think that, I don't know what the fuck to tell you. But you definitely need to cut the shit and stop fucking focusing on Trump being the savior of America. We are in fucking way worse. We have way worse problems headed our way, and we're all sitting there fucking patting these people on the dicks. Granted, listen, Biden was no better. Kamala Harris would have been a disaster. Listen, Kamala Harris wasn't going to win. She wasn't going to win. Jonathan said, inverters are a different story. Industrial transformers are something else. No, inverters are only going to affect the solar power community, right? Farms and things of that nature. Transformers is a game changer if they shut that off. Now, the fact that this shit was found in there, and they were disabled, by the way, they did take them out, right? They took out the communication devices from the transformers, and they're doing the same with the solar power gear. They're taking the shit out. But still, why do we keep messing with countries that are actively trying to fuck us? I don't understand that. And he's a New York. Trump is just like the others. He's a New York Democrat. And listen, you guys could disagree with me. And again, you're not all supposed to agree with me. But thinking that fucking this administration is our savior, yo, I got a fucking bridge to say. There's a pot of gold and a fucking leprechaun under it. Yes, it does need a paint job. But you know what? I didn't do this paint job, by the way. My brother did. And I think he did it blindfolded. I'm pretty sure he did. Because it was just really bad. So I don't know if I should scrape it or just prime it and paint over it. I'm more inclined to scrape it down to the bare walls, prime it, and then paint it again. But I can't leave it this brown color. This is fucking bad. But anyway, not the point. Yes, Stephanie, Trump is doing some good shit, right? The border has slowed down. But just because an administration does something, like I said before, just because they appear to be doing something good, doesn't mean they don't have something worse behind them. Like I said, I don't trust any of these people, and don't give your trust to them. Period. That's my whole point to my rant. Don't trust them 100%. You could like what they're doing. You could like some of the calls they're making. That's fine. But don't put your fucking 1,000% trust in them. They are politicians. They are the bad guys. They will always be the bad guys. Politicians, since the inception of politics, have always been the bad guy. They have never been for the people. Look at any fucking society that had them. Look at the bullshit, the back dealings, the backstabbing, and how they fucked over their own people. They've been doing it since the dawn of time. They will continue to do it until the end of time. And Seamus, yes, New York City is toast. I have to agree. New York City is toast. But, yeah. Anyway, let me get this fucking story out of the way. I see a brown door and I want it painted black or white. Yeah. It was a really horrendous painting job too. Like really bad. I mean, I got a lot of work to do. Political activism also sucks. Yeah, listen, political activism is another thing that sucks. I mean, like, look at the Black Lives Matter, for example. Look at their bullshit. Look at the amount of people, black folks that were like, we're gonna fight for the Negro American, and we're gonna make black power great again, and all this other bullshit. And then what did they do? They bought homes, and coincidentally, one of the Black Lives Matter leaders that bought a home in California in a white neighborhood got caught, and then turned it around to make it a home for all. I was like, what? Bitch thinks she's sneaky. But anyway, she made it a home for all, and they have like events and shit there, like black run events or whatever it is. I read an article, I read like the first paragraph or two. I was like, all right. Seamus, yeah, well, my pension is coming regardless. It's coming with me. It's not like I'm going to leave New York and leave my pension behind. I can take my pension with me when I leave. Listen, I said I had 5 years. I'm closer to 2. I got closer to 2 years left and see what happens. After 2 years, I'm going to reevaluate everything and see whether I bounce or I stay. For 5. 5 is my max. 2 is my minimum. After 2 years, I'm going to reassess everything. If I think I can pull 5 more years, I will. If not, see you later. NOAP could save the world if you didn't have the syndrome. Ask Travis. I don't know what syndrome you're talking about. The Negro syndrome? Whatever. No. So anyway, let me pull up this article. So the article is called Ghost in the Machine. Rogue communication devices found in Chinese inverters. United States energy officials are reassessing the risk posed by Chinese-made devices that play a critical role in renewable energy infrastructure after unexplained communication equipment was found inside some of them. 2 people familiar with the matter said. Power inverters, which are predominantly produced in China, are used throughout the world to connect solar panels and wind turbines to electrical grid. They also found in batteries, heat pumps, electrical vehicle chargers. While inverters are built to allow remote access for updates and maintenance, the utility companies use them to typically install firewalls to prevent direct communication back to China. However, rogue communication devices not listed in the product document have been found in some Chinese solar inverters by U.S. experts who stripped down the equipment hooked up to the grid to check for security issues. Imagine that. Imagine every time you get a piece of gear from China, you have to strip it down and then put it back together again. I don't understand that ideology. I'm like, what? That's like every time I get a camera, I strip the camera down, take it completely apart, make sure that all the parts are there, and make sure that things that don't belong there are not in there, and then put it back together again. What kind of fucking trust is that? That you have to do that every time? That's like every time your girlfriend or your husband or your wife walks through the door, you're checking their phone to make sure they're not cheating on you. That is no way to fucking live, and that's not a partnership. This shit shouldn't be existing. And the fact that the Chinese got caught and the Chinese government didn't even step up to go, you know what, we didn't do it. They just didn't say anything. So obviously silence is fucking deafening when the Communist Party of China doesn't speak up or say anything about it. Someone said paint party. Did someone actually say that gay ass shit? I'm not even going to look at the chat anymore. That was it, guys. Nice going. Anyway, for the past 9 months, undocumented communication devices, including cellular radios, have been found in some batteries from multiple Chinese suppliers, one of them said. This is one of the experts that are looking into this. Reuters was unable to determine how many solar power inverters and batteries they have looked at. Rogue components provide additional undocumented communication channels that could allow firewalls to be circumvented remotely, with potentially catastrophic consequences. Both declined to give their names. The 2 guys that are looking into this, they both declined to give their names. We know that China believes there is value in placing at least some elements of our core infrastructure at risk of destruction or disruption. Mike Rogers, a former director of the United States National Security Agency. I think that the Chinese are, in part, hoping that the widespread use of inverter limits the options that the West has to deal with the security issue. So the more they put this shit. No, my camera's not U.S. made. I don't think there's any U.S. Camera companies out there. They're all from overseas, whether that's China, not China, Japan, Germany, Italy. Yeah, I don't think there's any U.S. made cameras out here. Anyway, so guys, basically they could shut down the renewable energy sector if they want to. Now they're probably going to inspect all electronics involved in this, but again, what kind of fucking trust is that? That remotely, guys, they could shut down whatever they want. They could shut down any solar farm. Now, keep in mind, some solar farms, again, conspiracy theory, some solar farms have operational bases underneath them or near them, and they function completely off of solar power and maybe backup generators for those that are underground. So, that being said, the Chinese government knows that, and the Chinese government knows that if there's a blackout, for example, if there's an EMP that coincidentally goes off, they can shut down this power source. And then what? So now America is completely screwed, especially companies that are using these Chinese inverters to run their solar power, whatever it is. And I don't understand why this is not being addressed. A spokesperson for the Chinese embassy in Washington said, "We oppose the generalization of concept of national security, distorting and smearing China's infrastructure achievements." Okay, whatever. Using these road communication devices, skirt firewalls, and switch off inverters remotely or change their settings could destabilize power grids, damage energy infrastructure, and trigger widespread blackouts. Why? Why even bother? Why don't you sit in front of the wood wall anymore? Because the wood wall is fake and it's all the way over there. If you want me to put it behind me, I could. But, yeah, that's my talking wall. I don't feel like moving it back and forward. So I'm leaving it there. Maybe I'll dress up the room a little bit and then switch this around so that we're facing the back of this wall. I don't know. So yeah, guys, it's all rules and it's all bullshit. So this is a shorter article. Now again, they found similar devices like this in transformers back, I think it was like 3 or 4 years ago. And this wasn't a big to do. You had to research the articles. Certain articles made it sound like it was a bad idea, right? That the transformers being able to be shut down remotely. And in one article, I couldn't find it, one article, they went as far to say that they can shut down these they can shut down these transformers remotely and hold it hostage until we give them whatever they need to be given. So that they could turn the power off and then tell the United States, listen, we need you to give us this much money. We need you to do that. Or we want this or we want that. And they can shut those transformers down indefinitely. So that's what one article went on to say. The United States didn't address the issue of the transformers publicly, and the United States is still not addressing this issue publicly. At least I didn't see any statements from when I last read it. The chair is fine, man. I put the red thing over it. Maybe you guys will be mesmerized by the red and leave my fucking chair alone. I don't know. But next article, real quick. There's also an article I wanted to... Oh, this is the Transformer article. I'm going to read that as well, and then we got 20 minutes. Damn, that went pretty fucking fast. All right, so next article. Chinese kill switch sparks security concerns at U.S. solar farms. The discovery of a hidden kill switches in American solar farms have ignited a wave of security concerns, prompting calls for investigation into potential risk to the energy infrastructure. These kill switches, identified as cellular radios, are embedded within the power inverter manufactured by Chinese companies. Now, they don't know how many companies, or at the very least, they're not telling us how many companies are doing this, but there were bunch of companies, and the Chinese government, again, has yet to address it. And in fact, I think one article I read, they denied it or something like that, as any fucking government would do. The core concern revolves around the possibility that these kill switches could be exploited to disrupt or disable energy production. One source cited in the report suggested that compromising these inverters could grant a hostile actor, such as the Chinese government, the ability to trigger widespread blackouts. This capability is seen as a severe threat, potentially creating a built-in way to physically destroy the grid. That is an act of war. That statement is an act of war. That the Chinese government is going out of their way to disrupt or shut down the American electrical grid is an act of war. And meanwhile, like I said before, the United States doesn't have the balls to deal a blow to the Chinese. The Chinese definitely need a blow to their fucking ego. And it has to be swift and fast. Can't be announced, can't be talked about. They just have to go after them. End of days. I'm going to talk about that in one of the articles in a little bit. But thank you for bringing that up. Sorry. That should be. I'm trying to keep up. Anyway, sorry. Let's see. Where the fuck are we? All right. Power inverters are critical components of solar and wind energy system. They act as a vital link between the renewable energy source and the wider electrical grid, converting the generated power into usable form of energy. The presence of these remote control devices raises possibility of potential vulnerabilities within the power grid. Obviously, if you keep letting your enemy, grace you with fucking transformers and inverters, this is going to happen. While China dismissed these allegations, the discovery has triggered an alarm bell within the United States government. Lawmakers are now calling for an immediate action to assess and mitigate the identity risk. I don't know why we continue. This is like we're asking for it. That's the problem. That's like stepping in front of a moving car. You know this car is going to kill you. You know this car is looking to kill you. You're going to step in front of it anyway, hoping that it would stop on time. It doesn't make any sense. It's the worst fucking... This is bizarre. Anyway, potential disruption the potential of disruption is underscored by the recent events such as the blackout in Spain and Portugal, which were believed to have been initiated by a loss of relatively small amount of generation capacity. Bullshit. The Spain and Portugal thing was an attack. It was obviously an attack, and if they're using inverters from China, that was the kill switch. In response to these revelations, utilities in the U.S. are reportedly preparing for potential restriction on the use of Chinese-made equipment in a critical grid infrastructure. They should have did that shit years ago. This move echoes similar measure taken against Chinese telecom giant Huawei, reflecting the growing concern about the national security and reliance of the Chinese technology. All right, now this article was a couple years ago. So the hidden threats in our power grid, the Chinese transform backdoor scandal. America's critical infrastructure faces an unprecedented threat. It's already installed hundreds of locations across the nation. These are the transformers. Recent investigators confirmed that Chinese manufactured power transformer, essentially potential to the electrical grid system, have been discovered with hidden capabilities, allowing remote shutdown from overseas. In the summer of 2019, federal authorities seized a massive 500,000 pounds of transformers at the part of Houston rather than delivering it to its intended Colorado substation. Officials diverted it under escort to Sandia National Laboratory for examination. What they discovered was horrifying. All right, no, they said alarming. Backdoor hardware deliberately inserted that would allow operators in China to remotely disable the transformer. And believe it or not, they never answered to this. The Chinese never answered to this, by the way. This wasn't mere speculation. Landon Sadler, former director of the intelligence program at the National Security Council, later confirmed that Sandia Laboratory, Sandia Laboratory, found hardware that was put into the transformer that had the ability for somebody in China to switch it off. So if we suddenly get a blackout, it might not be an EMP. It might be some dude eating a bowl of rice over in the other side of the world, shutting our shit off. Recognizing this existential threat to national security, the federal government declared a grid security emergency on May 1st, 2020, signing an executive order 13920 to ban acquisition of certain foreign power equipment. Energy Secretary Dan Barilli stated that the order would greatly diminish the ability of foreign adversaries to target our critical infrastructure. You know how you protect the infrastructure? Stop taking gifts from the Chinese. Done. I solved your fucking problem without giving you an executive order to do so. Stop ordering shit from the Chinese. These executive orders are silly, by the way. However, on January 20th, 2021, the very first day of the next administration, this protective measure was suspended. Who was inaugurated January 20, 2021. All right. They stopped that fucking act. So anyway, the protective measure was suspended. The ban on Chinese transformer was effectively lifted, with the administration later replacing the hardline approach with volunteer measures and supply chain review. The Biden administration did this shit. And so, again, I go back to what I said in the beginning of the live stream. Are they all in on this shit? The Biden administration definitely is in on it because they reversed an executive order that was meant to protect the American people and the electrical grid system, and they turned around and suspended it and lifted this order. These aren't ordinary components. Ultra-high voltage transformers are the backbone of our electrical transmission system, and their compromise could lead to widespread blackouts affecting millions. With hundreds of potentially vulnerable Chinese units now embedded throughout our grid infrastructure, security experts warn we may have inadvertently installed an equivalent of a sleeper cell in our most critical national system. The same is true for software components of IoT devices. Those are susceptible to phishing attacks. I don't know what IoT devices are. If one of you guys know what that is, by all means, please let me know. But anyway, that's pretty much it for the article. So now what they want to do is, when the Biden administration suspended it, what they started doing was investigating or examining every piece of transformer that came over from China, instead of just banning it or building our own. I don't know why we don't build our own. I mean, maybe we don't have the components. I don't fucking know. It doesn't make sense. We should be building our own everything. But we're not doing that. So, whatever. Internet of Things. Is that what that means, Earl? Internet of Things? The same is true for software components of the Internet of Things device. I mean, are you just making shit up? Because that sounds like you made that up. But if that's it, then that's strange. Internet of Things devices. Doesn't make sense. Anyway, so somebody mentioned the U.S. launches Doomsday Minuteman III nuclear-capable missiles in a dramatic show of force. The United States Air Force launched a nuclear-capable intercontinental ballistic missile, ICBM, capable of delivering a warhead to anywhere on Earth Wednesday morning as part of a regular test for the country's Doomsday missiles. The Minuteman III missiles was unarmed when it was launched from the Vandenberg Space Force Base in California. The missiles travel 1,500 miles per hour, wow, to test sites in the marshlands 4,000 miles away. Marshall Islands, excuse me. The Minuteman is a 1970 era program that the Air Force plans to replace with the Sentinel system. I heard something about the Sentinel system, but I don't know anything about it. I don't know much about it other than I heard the name before. But the program has been plagued by cutback and delays. The Air Force has planned to decommission all of its Cold War era missiles by 2039, but the Sentinel hasn't been fully tested yet, and delays to the program could push the transition date back to 2050. What is a Sentinel program? Is it like robots and shit? It sounds menacing, or cool, however you want to look at it. Yet the Air Force insisted the Sentinel program is on track, adding that until full capability is achieved, the Air Force is committed to ensuring that Minuteman III remains a viable deterrent. End of article. I never heard of the Sentinel program. Like the Sentinel program, I shit you not, guys, sounds like the X-Men movie, the one where they travel back in time, and they have the Sentinel program in it, and that's all I was thinking about when I thought that. When I said something, I'm like, do they have robots that are gonna shoot shit out of the sky? Sentinel, not good in Zeon. I don't know what that means, but okay. Vandenberg is a missile command center in the West Coast. Cali Prepper said he grew up near it. No shit. Okay. No, not Sentinels from the Matrix. It's Sentinel, like the robot Sentinels from X-Men. Those two, Days of Future Past. Thank you, Common Moon. Remember the Sentinel robots were in there? That's what this fucking reminds me of. When they were talking about it's not online yet, it's not on track, it's going to be pushed back a bunch of years. They had the same problem in the Days of Future Past, X-Men's Days of Future Past, right? They weren't like operational and had to do all this shit to get it done. The Sentinel program refers to two distinct initiatives: the U.S. Air Force Nuclear Modernization Program for land-based ICBMs and the FDA's Medical Product Surveillance System. Gene W., thank you for that. That doesn't make any sense. Why would the FDA have a medical product surveillance system tagged with a modernization of the ICBM land-based program? That's fucking weird. Sentinel Air Force Global Strike Command. The word Sentinel means a guard or guardian. Right. Yeah, Sentinel means guardian, if I'm not mistaken. Alright. That's interesting. That's very interesting. Alright. So anyway, guys, on the Angry Truth channel, we're going to talk about be careful what you see. And I forgot what the fuck I was supposed to talk about. Oh, the other article about the thing. I'll remember that thing when I fucking... Oh, made. We're going to talk about that. The thing in Canada. And everybody should listen to that because I could see something like that coming here. But, again, probably down the line. Not like, not right away. And I will start that at... And Truthful Troll giving you a shout out, like, fucking 20 minutes later or whatever it was. But there goes your shout out. Yeah. To the Fallout timeline. Oh, yeah, nice one, by the way. Why are we getting oddly close to the Fallout? Listen, everybody seems to think that we're definitely headed to some kind of nuclear something. Whether it's a war, disaster, something from space. There's just a lot of shit happening. I mean, listen, guys, like I said earlier today or tonight, people are losing their fucking minds. I mean, like, I am not understanding the things that I'm reading or seeing. I don't understand the behavior of people. Things are getting progressively worse. The psych issues of people, there are more EDPs out in the streets than I've ever seen in my entire life, man. And people are like, yeah, well, that's because psych facilities are shut down. No, there is something else going on. I just don't know what the fuck it is. I like to know what it is so I can stay away from it or not drink it and not breathe it in. But whatever the fuck is going on is bad. There are so many psychological problems going on. You had that lady a couple weeks ago screaming at the cop, like just screaming. The cop was like talking to her. She's like, "Get away from me!" You guys saw the liberal with the glasses screaming at the top of her lung in a car at night. You're like, what the fuck is that about? Why is she acting that way? The other lady that busted her tooth against the you're seeing a lot of people act fucking It's bizarre. Gene W, it's not drugs, man. It's something else. Something is not making sense. No, the shit's not clicking. Shit's not making sense. Things are fucking off. Something is off with the human race as far as psychological goes. I just can't. Yeah, man. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck it is. Geoengineering nano aluminum spray. Jeanette. Could be it. Could be it. And just a heads up, guys, there's a new fentanyl. It's called cardinol. It's like fentanyl, but it begins with a C. And that stuff is very strong. They said some crazy shit like, you need like the pencil tip of fentanyl to kill an entire room of people. This thing was less than that. It was like the very tip of a pencil the very tip of a pencil can kill a human being. The full tip of a pencil, the lead part of the pencil, fentanyl can kill a whole. I forgot what the hell it was called. Beginning with a C. But I just saw it the other day, and the alerts are going out on it because there are a lot of people passing away from it. I think a lot of that stuff is also making people crazy, if you ask me. Listen, guys, there's a lot of shit that sounds crazy, but it's fucking true. Carfentanil, thank you, guys. Jason and Johnny D, carfentanil. That shit. And it's like, it's way less of fentanyl for it to kill you. Like, way less of it. And so that stuff is starting to pop up all over the place, and they're starting to see more people pass away from the drug use. And then they're suspecting cops are going to start fucking passing away from it as well. Because, like I said, it's less than a microdose, if you know what that is. Yeah, but something isn't right with the human race. There's something inherently wrong. I mean, just the way people are offing their families, instead of just like kumbayaing them in a car and putting them to sleep, people are going to war with their families like they owe them money. There was a guy, I think, if I'm not mistaken, this was a couple weeks ago. Maybe it was a year ago. A guy offed his family. He did some cartel style shit. He didn't just like put a bullet in them. He was hacking them. And I think he beat one of the kids with a baseball bat. It was some brutal shit. That don't make any sense to me. First of all, it doesn't make sense to me that you off your family. That doesn't make sense at all. But the fact that you want cartel on them, something is wrong. It was something the effects of that, man. Like, it was something along those lines, It was something along those lines. Laura, thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. Thanks. It was something crazy. Potentially using WMD. I think so, Mary Jean. But it's extremely. Thank you, Joe. It's extremely potent. It's like really bad. It's called fentanyl shit, and I think that's affecting people's brains. I don't know, but something isn't right. Something's not making sense. But anyway, guys, with that being said, I'm going to go off the air, head over to the Angry Truth channel. I will see some of you guys there, and I'll see some of you guys Friday night for my doubleheader, because I'm not going to do it tomorrow night. Whether I get overtime or not is irrelevant. I'll see you guys Friday night for doubleheader. Other than that, guys, thank you for joining me. Thank you for the donations. Laura, thank you for the donation again. I appreciate it. And I will see some of you guys on the Angry Truth channel. Good night, guys.